So you qualify for a payment if you filed a 2020 income tax return by October, and also you cannot be claimed as dependent by anyone else on your previous tax returns. In the state of Illinois, everybody, for instance, taxpayers who earn less than $200,000 in 2021 will have a $50 check in their bank. Couples filing jointly can also get up to $100 and even $400 and $300 as well. For those with student debt, here's the latest news. The last few months have been definitely confusing. We all know that. President Biden said in August that he'd be forgiving up to $20,000 for millions of borrowers. But before that celebrating could even happen, Republicans brought a slew of changes to the policy, leaving it in jeopardy even as the application for the relief went live. So since October, about 22 million Americans have applied for forgiveness. Yet the biggest setback for the Biden administration is when the U.S. Appeals Court temporarily blocked it from moving forward. In September, the Republicans in the General Assembly all agreed that they tried to sue the Biden administration to stop its plans to cancel hundreds of billions of dollars in student debt. The U.S. District Judge has also ruled early this month that while the states had raised important and significant challenges to the debt relief plan, they ultimately lacked legal standing to pursue the case. The 8th U.S. Circuit Court of Appeals also granted the state's emergency petition, leaving the Biden administration unable to forgive any student debt for now. The GOP-led states are accusing the president of overstepping his authority. The Education Department, in order to protect its broader loan forgiveness policy, has now said that borrowers need to have consolidated their loans by the end of September to be eligible. They no longer can do so to qualify. According to CBS News, an 8th U.S. Circuit Court of Appeals did on Friday, and they froze the president's plan until it decides whether or not to keep the plan on hold for the duration of the state's appeals. Now, the White House press secretary also said in an official statement that tonight's temporary order does not prevent borrowers from applying student debt relief. It also does not prevent us from reviewing those applications and preparing them for transmission to loan servicers. So, hopefully President Biden can get the stimulus check sent out and out to the people who need it the most. We all know that President Biden has to do more for the American people and send us stimulus payments sooner than later.
The equity market is not representing the U.S. economy, and I would especially say that I think the tech sector does not represent the U.S. economy. So when we look at the JOLTS data earlier this week, job separations actually fell. When we look at initial jobless claims, they're very low, historically low levels. We're seeing very robust job gains in terms of 260,000 on month per average. The last time we were at this unemployment rate, we were talking about 125, 150,000 job gains. So the context is really important here. We're still adding a lot of jobs. Labor separations remain very low. Wage growth up 0.4%, up 4.7% year on year. It's a very tight labor market, and I wouldn't overemphasize what's happening within the tech sector and extrapolate that to the broader economy at the moment.
Lakshman, it seems that the Fed is comfortable with taking its terminal rate, the rate that it looks to end some of its policy pathway at, to end.
Now, millions of Social Security beneficiaries could receive an extra $200 monthly benefit boost. Several lawmakers in Congress have put forward a new legislation that would increase benefits for many seniors this year. Now, this is awesome news. A new bill could also boost Social Security recipients' monthly income by the $200 and increase the overall longevity of the program. Democratic Representatives Peter DeFazio and Bernie Sanders introduced the Social Security Expansion Act days after the SSA announced that the program was in jeopardy. The agency estimated that Americans will stop receiving full Social Security benefits as early as 2035 if action is not taken. Under the Social Security Expansion Act, Social Security beneficiaries receive an additional monthly $200 check, totaling an annual bonus of $2,400. And according to CBS News, this would yield a 12% increase from the average monthly check of approximately $1,700. Anyone who is a current Social Security recipient or will be eligible in 2023 will receive the bonus check. The bill would also boost benefits for the lowest income earners in the U.S. under the Special Minimum Benefit Program. Current recipients receive approximately $900 per month. According to the SSA, the proposed legislation would adjust the rate to 125% of the federal poverty level, increasing the monthly check to an estimated $1,400 per month. Another component of the legislation is to expand the HC's fund by increasing payroll tax for some earners. Under current law, earnings above $147,000 are not subject to Social Security tax. New policy would apply the payroll tax to people who earn more than $200,000. Now, Peter DeFazio assured that the top percent of earners who would see an increase in their taxes if the bill were approved, meaning 93% of taxpayers would not see a change in their taxes. The congressman noted that expanding payroll tax would bolster the SSA trust fund, securing it through 2096. A new bill would make it so a Social Security recipient might receive $200 more per month and a 12% boost in money. The SSA has announced that Social Security benefits have gone up by 5.9%, the largest increase in the past 4 decades. And the president of the registered Social Security Analyst Group told CBS News that many seniors rely on Social Security for the majority of their income. $200 a month can make a significant increase for many people. Now, Senate Democrats have finally reached a deal in agreement to raise taxes on some high earners who say they are abusing a loophole to slash their tax bills. Lawmakers said the plan to close a tax break for those earning more than $400,000 a year, requiring them to pay 3.8% in taxes on certain income from pass-through businesses. They project that closing the tax loophole would raise about $200 billion over a decade. A source said would be used to pay for Medicare through 2031 in an effort to keep the federal health care program from going bankrupt. Without congressional intervention, the program's hospital insurance trust fund is poised to begin running out of money by 2028. Chuck Schumer and Joe. Now, folks, we have a ton of news about the fourth stimulus payment that you have to know. Joe Biden is making progress on the fourth stimulus payment, and it's good to know this because there's a ton of information about this stimulus check. First of all, looming cuts to monthly benefits are set to affect the millions of low income. In just a couple of days, many will notice smaller monthly benefit checks, and several Democrats want to take action on this. Many are trying to fall into food security, and now, when the crisis aid has boosted food stamp benefits cuts next week again, millions of the low-income Americans will see smaller balances in the accounts that they use to pay for groceries, leaving food banks bracing for a spike in demand. As of March 1st, the emergency allotment for individuals and households enrolled in the federal SNAP program will end in 32 states, the District of Columbia, Guam, and the Virgin Islands. This means that the recipient households will see their monthly grocery allocation reduced by at least $95. And according to the Center on Budget and Policy Priorities, that equates to cutting roughly $9 per person on average, for about $6.10. And the change comes when food prices in January had increased 10% over the same last month. For instance, a deputy undersecretary for the USDA administers the SNAP program and acknowledged that SNAP benefits have proved to be very powerful for recipients. And now Dean even stated that this can't be underscored enough in the difference of it's making a huge mitigating increase in hunger and addressing economic hardship and poverty. She added that while the program's expiration will be difficult, the extra aid delivered was always designed to be temporary. More than 40 million people participated in SNAP as of October, in the latest period for which the federal data was available. Participation hasn't even previously surpassed that level since the summer of 2020, and the program's total cost for fiscal year 2021 was only $113 billion. That included 9 months of a 15% increase to the maximum benefit as part of this emergency allotment. But research by the Urban Institute found that the enhanced SNAP benefits are going to keep 4.2